All right.
I think we got live. All right. We're live. We're gonna wait a little while, see if we can get some people in.
Yeah,
We
for sure.
let's see, we're a minute late. Our other guest, she's not gonna be here today. Her son got sick. So
Uh,
I don't know.
there's been a lot of that going around.
Yep. Chloe was just sick this weekend. She got a fever out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But she got rid of it. We got rid of it.
Oh, that's good.
My camera's so dark. This room doesn't have lights in it.
Gotta get you some lights.
Yeah, I'm gonna move. I have two lamps. It's just that I don't have an actual light in this room. This room didn't come with a light, so even though I have two lamps, it still makes it real dark.
Yeah.
hmm But okay, welcome to Melissa's Cricket Creation. Today's topic is our traditions gone? As you see, the title of the video we're gonna be talking about men proposing to women. I'm sorry, vice versa. Women proposing to men, and we're gonna talk about some couples that we know of that have proposed to each other. My craft for today will be the gable boxes and the sizes, and I'm gonna print out the different stickers to go with the gable boxes, and we'll go over that. But if you want to, go ahead and introduce yourself, Denzel, while we wait
Okay.
on.
All right. I'm Denzel. Uh, I'm a fitness trainer. I have my own fitness business that's up and coming. You can check that out at my website, etceterabiz.com. That is etceterabiz.com. All my information is there, social media and all that. And then I got my tag right there where my name is. So yeah, just look me up and you can see what I have going on and check me out.
All right, cool. So there are three couples that I really wanted to talk about today. When we talked about women proposing to men, I was really hoping that our special guest could have came because she said she proposed to her fiance, so we wanted to hear that story and hear how that turned out.
Yeah.
But she wasn't able to make it. But we can just start with the original. Well, we're not gonna say the original, but one of the first people that I saw propose to their man, and it was. Did you watch Chrissy and Jim Jones? And if y'all have, put in the comments for me.
Oh, nah, I heard it. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Okay, let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. So, all right, YouTube, and we'll just show a little bit of it because they'll copyright me.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're gonna let it load. How's your day been? You been having a good day?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been busy, but it's been good. I actually just finished training not too long ago before this, so I did it a little early so I can take a shower and freshen up.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's been good though.
So that was a joke going around because Chrissy and Jim Jones still are not married. All right. So I asked this question in my group, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read what the results were when I asked it in my group about marriage. I'm gonna wait a little while to hey, welcome, Miss Monroe. I'm gonna read the poll numbers. And y'all can tell me what. All right. Here we go. So I asked the question, should women propose to men? All right. So I had 69 people vote. Of the 69 people that voted, 65 of them said no, it's a man's job. And 4 said yes. And so some of the comments, like I said, I had one said, I myself proposed. She was gonna be my guest today, but her son got sick. So she said she proposed to her fiance. I had another person say, I feel like a man proposing to a woman lets us know they're ready. And that's something great to talk about. Cynthia says that if a man is ready, he will ask. I believe that too. Jamila says she agrees with both 1 and 2. Then it said, the way a lot of men just go with the flow, I could never propose. I need to know for sure the engagement is his idea before moving forward. Man, that's so true. It said, and then we have a different person that came and said, I think it's okay. Women today are stronger than years past. I don't know about that. The man might be afraid she will reject his proposal, and so he just doesn't do it. And then our guest says that her fiance actually proposed to her the same day she proposed to him. So let's start with the first idea of, do you feel like being that women should propose to men?
Me personally, no.
Why?
Just because it's that one thing in a quote unquote soon to be married and even marriage life. Because I feel like the engagement and the proposal, that's all part of the marriage life, even though it's the before. And that's like that one thing that man has to have. Because when it comes to the wedding, it's all about the woman at the end of the day.
Right? Yeah.
So I feel like that man should have the position to, have the opportunity to propose to a woman.
So do you feel like a woman proposing to a man emasculates him?
No, honestly, no, I don't. Because at the end, because it's just it's the world we live in. I mean, whether we accept it or not.
Propose to you, would you take the proposal, or would you say no and then propose to her?
Honestly, I would take the proposal, but I would take the proposal and then I would do my own proposal. Because at the end of the day, what's stopping me from doing my own? If she can propose to me, I still can propose to her. Now, am I gonna feel some type of way about it? Yes, but I feel like whoever I am with, they wouldn't do that just because they know that I want to be the one to propose.
So why do you think people feel like it's the man's job to propose?
Part of it is because of tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Another part of it is just because of it's just seen as the man's job to do. Like, if the man wants the woman, he should be the one to propose. And I feel like that's it's a respect thing for the parents and to the family. It's a respect thing to the woman that he's trying to marry. It's all about respect and showing that, hey, I can be the person to, what I'm trying to say. I really want to be that person that wants you to be in my life forever. Like, it's one of the most greatest actions. I can't think of the word, but it's like one of the most greatest actions as a man you can take towards a woman, to really show her you're the one and only, and that's it. Nobody else. So
Okay.
so yeah, I feel like for a woman to do it, it's cool, but it ain't the same vibes because women, are already more emotional than men are. So when you see a man do it, he's really he's not just saying it, but he's showing his emotions. Because a lot of men, they only show their emotions, privately. But when he does it openly like that, which most proposals do have it openly, then it's like I said, it's just a thing that's humbling for a man to do.
Yeah, I think a man should do it. Number one, I think if a woman does it, I think I'm just gonna be honest. I think most of the time, now it's not always 100%, but I think most of the time, if a woman steps up and proposes to a man, I think it has more to do that she feels like they've been in a relationship for too long and that he hasn't done what he needs to do to like, we playing house. And sometimes they already have kids together, they're living together, and they feel like it's not moving the way they want it to go. So they propose because they're like, well, dang, I'm not gonna wait on you forever. And we say you should. But I think Latundra says a man should always step up and ask for a hand in marriage. I agree. Curl says a man should do it. Definitely. Let's watch, let's watch our good friend for a second. She's gonna she's not our friend. She's gonna propose to her man. A little.
The other thing I like about
it's a commercial. And isn't this convenient because I'm on StreamYard, so yay. And if you guys don't know, I am on the road to 4,000 watch hours. I am down to only needing 400.
StreamYard,
so as soon as I get to 400,
a glitch in your internet connection.
Okay. They lying. If it's a glitch in your internet connection and you're using StreamYard, you're still gonna have issues because I've had it happen. Okay, well,
hey,
we do care about what you said. This is her channel, so we do care.
I'm looking a hot sweat.
But we just want to get to the proposal. We care.
Yeah.
But while that's coming up, I just think that a lot of women feel like, men take so long to propose because they don't value marriage. I think men, they walk around saying how, no thanks. They walk around saying how they don't want to be married, but they want everything like a marriage. They still want a woman. They still want to have these kids. They still want to have somebody to come home to, grow to. They just don't want to put the paper to it. So I think women get frustrated. Like the lady was pregnant on the proposal.
That just means that I'm into my.
Okay, come on, girl. They
and I just have my opinion.
Okay, yeah, you do. Like, you have a lot of opinions. Let's go to the lady that. Let's see if she have timestamps. Or maybe she don't even have a video in here.
Yeah, you better make sure. That might have been a clickbait.
Yeah, I thought I pulled it up ahead of time. But I think what happens is, women get tired. Like Chrissy, the first one I said that started this, Chrissy and Jim Jones. So Chrissy and Jim Jones been together for years. And he wants to have a child with her. But yet he hasn't got on one knee and asked her to be his wife. So she took it in her own hands and she proposed to him. And he took it and he turned around and he proposed to her. That's beautiful. But guess what happened? They never got married. They're still, we still waiting to see this marriage. We're still waiting to see Chrissy and Jim Jones come together or whatever. So do you think that'll happen? Because maybe the guy really doesn't want to get married. If it took for the woman to ask him, do you feel like that maybe the guy really even didn't want to get married now?
That's definitely a possibility, but I don't feel like that's it with every case, because like I said, with the world we live in now, like there's definitely more, I don't want to say aggressive because that's the wrong word, but there's more women who would step up to the plate and be like, look, I ain't about to wait around on you. I'm gonna propose. If you say no, you say no. If you say yeah, you say yeah. I ain't about to sit around and wait. And it's sad that it's kind of got to that point, but I feel like that's how it is for some women.
That they feel like they had to propose to the man.
Yeah.
On the video, but we could just look at the picture. So let's just look at not her picture. I don't want to go back. All right, so this is a scene. So it's a lot of things that's wrong. Let me go up. It's a lot of things can y'all see this picture right here? It's a lot of things that's wrong with this picture. Number one, when we look at this picture, we see that she's pregnant and she's down. And I don't know, well, I know you've never been pregnant, you're a guy, but I've had a child. And so I know how hard it is to get down on one knee if you're pregnant, okay? And how you're, me, I had a hard time breathing while I was pregnant. And he has his hand, I guess he's shocked or whatever. But I just feel like if that's his child and that's his child, he should have said, get up. He never did want to get married. Maybe they used to marriage for clout. Oh, yeah. Maybe they use a relationship as a way just to have that reality show, even though they dipped out of it a while. But yeah, Chrissy was dragged. They still not married to this day. They said that we'll be able to come out of COVID or whatever, whenever Chrissy actually gets married to Jim Jones, that this whole COVID thing will be over with at that time. But yeah, so also we have, I don't know if y'all know who Caesar, because we talked about Caesar last week. Caesar from Black Ink, his girlfriend actually proposed to him too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're not married.
Yeah.
I just think it doesn't work like that. I think the bigger issue is before you play. I don't necessarily have a problem with people moving in together before they get married. What do you think about that? You think people should live together before they get married?
I think it's better if you don't, but I mean, if you do, then you do. I mean, you're grown, so do what you want. But
Okay. But I think you should probably live together first, just to make sure y'all meant for each other.
yeah, but
But
you don't have to move in for that though. You know, like I feel like you should be able to figure that without moving in. Because your communication should be strong regardless. And I know it's like, oh well, you never know a person till they move in. Well, no, you never took the time to
until
know them
y'all
in the
share
first place.
bills together,
You
until
said
y'all
what?
until y'all share bills together, until your bills are his bills are your
Yeah,
bills.
but I mean that's something that you're gonna have to work out in a marriage regardless. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like you're gonna have to work that
So
out anyway. Because even after you get married, if you're living in the same house and then you get married, you still gonna have to work that out. So
I would think if I'm gonna live with somebody, I'm gonna work that out before we move in together. So all I'm saying is, if y'all get to stay together and do those, set those boundaries. I say to each his own. I'm not
yeah,
saying people should go marry. I mean, live with people before they get married, but I just think
yeah.
you'll be able to see the bigger picture if y'all stay together first, because you'll be, not just anybody, somebody that you think you want to marry one day. But then you'll see how they take care of their bills. You'll see how they, I don't know, just like maybe it'll irritate you that they leave the seat up, or
But I
maybe
mean that's what I'm saying though. Like when it comes to
you're
stuff
not in
like
my house
that,
every day. What's the difference?
when it comes to stuff like that though, like that shouldn't you shouldn't have to move in to figure that kind of stuff out. That's all I'm saying. Like the little habits like oh leaving the toilet seat and stuff up like that, yeah, you're gonna figure that out when you move in. But that's little petty stuff. As far as bills and all that stuff, these are questions you should be I feel like you should be asking anyway.
And
Like
like I know people put on the front, and you think
I know,
everything's
I
fine,
know,
then you
I
find
know,
out how they really are when y'all move in together. So it
but
just
that's when it comes to just being real with that person. Especially if you know that you're looking to be married, you just got to be real upfront with that person. And I feel like if you pay attention to the flags, then you won't have to deal with the bull crap because you're gonna be able to tell somebody that's just faking it till they make it, and tell somebody that's being genuine. And at the end of the day, even if you do find somebody that's being genuine, it don't mean that it's gonna work out. I mean, that's love in itself. Like it has no logic. It don't have to make sense. But at the end of the day, it's up to the two people to make it work. So, but we talking about marriage though.
right.
That's different from proposing. Because if you take my take on proposing, it's cool, but I don't think people should be engaged for a long period of time. Like I feel
You
like it should
don't
be
think people should
as
engage for a long
short
period?
as. I feel like it should be a short spot because what happens is exactly what you're talking about. I know you're saying, well, the women they propose and they still ain't married. Well, there's plenty of men that I know and don't know that's proposed and they still ain't married, but they've been engaged for years.
Yeah, they've been engaged, but
Makes no
that
sense
leads
to me.
back to, so like a lot of times what happens is a men propose, right? I guess it's like the woman proposed, and so ultimatums, right? So people like we've been together for X amount of years, we living together, da da da. Like when we get married, and if we not getting married, I'm gonna leave. So then the man will go buy a ring, right? Because the woman wanted to get married. He'll propose with no intentions on actually marrying this woman, and so then they'll have this drawn out proposal. I mean, engagement stage, which for life pretty much, because the man never wants. So why do you think, okay, so we both agree, because I can agree that I don't think a woman should marry, not marry, a woman should propose to a man. Let's read this real quick. You definitely should stay together because you never know the real truth of staying with someone if you haven't stayed with. That's true, because I'm telling you, you can fake it if they're not there. It said, Desire, how long do you think you should be engaged before? Years before, how many years before marriage do you think should be engaged? So you think like a couple of months?
Honestly, if you're to the point to where I maybe it's just me, but I feel like if I'm to the point to where I can propose to a woman, that means I know I want to marry you. Not
Right.
I'm thinking about it. That means I got the money to marry you.
Mm-hmm.
I got my stuff in order to get you on in, and we move and to do everything we need to do. And then I'm gonna finish what I'm saying. Then I'm gonna come back to that. But yeah, I got all that ready. So why do I need to wait so long? It don't take that long to plan a wedding. Like,
Mhm.
figure it out. Don't be lazy. Get your stuff together. Like, you should already have the money if you go pop the question. In my opinion, you should already have it
You think
together.
the man should pay for the
You know?
wedding?
Say that again.
You think the man should pay for the wedding?
I think he should be bringing it when it comes to that. Yeah. But at the end of the day,
Usually the
that's
woman's
family. That's
the woman's
family
family.
stuff, though. Like, you don't know how the families go feel about all that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the actual wedding part, families get into it and they want to take care of
Depends
stuff.
on
So,
if it's their first wedding or second wedding. I think how engaged the family is. Because if
Yeah.
it's that first wedding, I think the mom's family pays for it.
yeah.
After
So,
that, everything on your own.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it depends. It depends. But as far as engaged, I feel like 6 months to a year is well enough time.
Yeah, I said a year.
Well enough time.
I said
Like,
engagement
it-
should be no longer than a year, unless you're in
It
college.
shouldn't. Yeah, it shouldn't be
So do you
longer
feel
than
like
that.
the reason why Black men are less likely to get married is because y'all take so long to become financially stable? Because I heard you say I should have my money together before I. So it's because y'all have a hard time becoming financially stable. Is that why y'all are less likely to get married?
I don't know about that, because at the end of the day, like I said, you don't know both people's position, and that conversation can go in a whole
I'm
another
just
way.
asking your opinion today, though. So I'm asking you: do you feel like Black men, the reason why they're less likely to get married, because it's low numbers, is because they are less likely to be financially stable? Because you just said that if you're to the point where you're proposing to somebody, that means that you love this person, you want to be married, and you can afford to marry this person. So you understand there's a responsibility in being a husband that you might have in being a boyfriend. So do you think because y'all are not necessarily, it takes a little bit longer for you guys to be financially stable?
I feel like that definitely plays a part. Just because from a man's perspective, you want to be able to take care of your woman.
All right.
Especially if it's gonna be your wife. You're gonna want to be able to take care of her. Now, I don't feel like that should be an excuse that slows you down.
So should you be dating if you're not? So like that's my thing. So like you get in these relationships with people, and relationships should evolve. Not every relationship. Some people gonna break up, but if y'all on a good flow and it's evolving, relationships should be just getting to know each other. Okay, now we're serious. Now we monogamous. Engagement, wedding. So if you're in a position, where you're not even in a position to one day be stable, should you even be dating before you even somewhat, financially there? Because then you're just wasting people's time, at that point.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I feel like that's a difficult question to answer, because like, if you do live with that mindset,
right?
Like, and let's say you never really get to that point to where you want to be, where you feel like, then what you gonna do?
Don't get married.
Yeah, and hey, I agree. Don't get married, but you talking about wasting people's time. Like, here's the thing though. You don't know who you gonna run into, and who you gonna get feelings with, when it's gonna happen, and none of that. Like, you really don't. And it ain't like we walking around like, well, I don't got my money right, so I don't need to be catching no feelings with nobody.
People are definitely on dating websites. People are definitely asking people out and then get mad when the person wants a date because they can't afford it. And so my question is, if you're not even in a position to date, or one day make this dating evolve into marriage because you're not financially where you're supposed to be. I'm not even talking about like if you're in a career but you're just not promoted to the position you want to be at. I'm talking about people who sleeping on their friends' couches, or people who just they're working at McDonald's, or they're in between jobs and they're not stable yet. Maybe you should be fully focused on yourself.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, you gotta have to focus on yourself, because you're not taking care of you. And if you ain't taking care of you, you ain't got to take care of nobody.
At what point do you feel like people should start dating financially? When do you think a man should be ready to date?
I feel like if he can take care of himself, like with no worries, not worrying about, not that paycheck to paycheck, but for real, take care of himself, stack his money, you know, and all of that. Like I feel like at that point he's ready because, you know, when you have a man that's doing that, he already has the financial mindset, if I can use that, to be able to know how to work his money, make his money, save his money, invest his money, stuff like that. So when that woman does come around, you know, I feel like a man with that kind of mindset is going to do even more to not just make sure he's good, but to make sure she's good.
Okay.
So,
okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, yeah, and then like you was talking about the guy that just sleeping on the couch, ain't take care of himself. He ain't even think about himself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely ain't about to be trying to take care of nobody else.
That's true. So just reverse back to the woman proposing to the man. So we live in a world now that women can propose to men. So that means that a lot of these traditional roles or whatever you want to call it, these, you know, you should be the woman of the house. You should be one to keep in. Like, I just feel like we're moving to a stage that we need to stop talking about submission. If women can propose to men now, we need to stop talking about women submitting to men.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Because like your argument is like, I feel like it's valid. Like, because if you get to that point, then you can't be talking about, oh, you gotta submit to me. And no, man.
You're the man of the house. If I had to, you know, create this. Yeah. I just feel like if a woman, if we paying 50-50, because that's what I hear people arguing now, we should be paying 50-50. Women are 8 months pregnant women are getting on one knee now to provide. I think it's low self-esteem. I just feel like if I propose to you, and I'm not here to diss anybody, but ladies in the comments, or if there's a guy, go ahead and let me know. Would you propose to your significant other? The only way I would propose to somebody is if I turn gay. If I turn gay and I was dating a woman, then I feel like it doesn't matter at that point. But if I'm a woman with a man, then I feel like you should definitely propose to me, because just like that lady said, that word submission makes me uncomfortable when my guy says it. Yeah, because men talk about women like we miniature slaves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because what I figured out, because guys is like, I don't want to have to come home to somebody that's, you know, been argumentative, stuff like that. And the more I question, I figured out that they just don't like people to disagree, with what they say, you know. And that's not argumentative just because Latondra said no, she wouldn't propose at all. That's not being argumentative. I mean, that's not being argumentative just because I disagree with what you say. You know, just because we have two different viewpoints, you know, that's not argumentative.
Yeah, that's not argumentative. I agree, but I feel like you have to know, like I feel like you both, not just a woman, but you both have to make time to have those conversations, like the right way, you know, in the right space with the right energy. You got to make time, because we all know, like, communication. And hold on. Let me say, because I've been saying this a lot to a lot of people. Communication, you know, you hear it all the time. Communication is key. I agree, but I disagree. Okay. I feel like comprehension is key, because what happens is this man says something, this woman says something. They both talking, they both hear each other, but they ain't comprehending what the other person is saying. If you ain't comprehending, if you read something and you don't comprehend it, yeah, you read it, but it don't mean nothing to you.
Right.
And I feel like that's the biggest issue, is like people don't really take the time to make time for those conversations, so they both can really communicate, comprehend, and understand, so they can create a solution.
So what does submission mean to you? When you say, like when they say, I want a submissive wife, what does that mean to you? And
so
husband, go ahead.
For me, submission is I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can. Let's go to that conversation. Let's go to that conversation, right? We're having a conversation about some decision that needs to be made. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm the type of person that I feel like you should not treat a woman like a child.
Right.
Like she needs to have her input, especially when it comes to marriage, and not even marriage, even when you're in a relationship. She needs to have her input, and she needs to be heard, and
Right.
and her what she says needs to be understood by that man.
Right. Go ahead.
But at the end of the day, if y'all in that moment where you agree to disagree or something like that, right? Then I feel like, but the decision needs to be made, it's just something that y'all want or whatever. It needs to be made. Then that's when the point where somebody has to step up. Well, who's gonna step up? If the woman ain't quote unquote submitting to the man when it comes to that decision, he ain't gonna be able to step up and make that decision because the woman ain't gonna allow it. So I feel like when it comes to in certain situations, that's where submission comes into play. It's like, well, if you want this man to be a man, if you want this man to quote unquote take care of you, if you want this man, to do these things, then you have to know when to submit. And I feel like when it comes to certain decisions, that's when submission comes into play. Other than that, then, do you. But I feel like the main thing is like knowing when to submit, and the man not taking submission to like, you got to submit to everything I say. You got to listen to everything I say and do everything I do. And the woman not acting like, I can't never submit to you because I'm yada, 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 whatever it is. So it has to be a compromise on both sides as far as the man not overdoing it and the woman knowing when to do it.
I think that submission should, in just my opinion, I think there are certain things that men are better at, and I think there are certain things that women are better at.
I agree.
They need to know what their lane is, and they need to lead in those, so like in protection and providing and things like that. So I think, those are things that they need to lead in. And then, but they have to know when they need to submit, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Things that the women are better at, and they have to be able to, understand their role. And I think that's what a lot of people, they think that submission is just being in charge, and I'm the head of the household. And
and that ain't it.
No household is, unless you paying pretty well, no household is going to work well. It's going to work like that. Because most women, let's just be honest, we lead the house and we let y'all provide and, protect. That's what we ask from you guys.
Yeah.
Because the mother is the one who take care of the kids most of the time. She's the one who makes sure. I mean, things are changing. I'm not going to say sometimes she's the one who take care of that, the home, make sure the home looks nice and stuff like that. But
yeah, but I mean, it's still the majority. It's still that way. And so I agree. Like, it's submission really has to be on both sides because, like you said, one person is good.
Maybe we should talk more about. So maybe it wouldn't be so frowned upon. I'm not going to propose to a man because I just feel like, again, like I said, because he's supposed to. Because when you get married, the father is basically giving away his daughter to the husband. He's saying, I'm gonna take on this role. I feel like the man should go ask the father. Unfortunately, my dad has died, but the man should go ask the father for the hand of marriage because you're about to take this role or whatever. And I don't feel like the woman can go ask the mother. I mean, I guess they could.
Yeah.
But weird. It says compromise that involves a discussion between two people. Submission seems like a dictatorship. Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like, I think men have learned a new word. Oh, it's not necessarily new, but I keep hearing about submission, but they don't talk about what has to be done to get submission. Like you have to pay to play, and that's just the end of the day. Like if you want a woman, like I want this woman that, is so submissive, doesn't talk back, doesn't do all that. Like those people are well paid. Okay. You're not having no broke submission. And these are the same men that want to go Dutch on dates that, want you to pay 50% of the bills or maybe catch the mortgage. I don't know. But for some reason, they feel like submission should be a part of a conversation and both people should submit to each other and they should grow. And households run better. I mean, I'm just saying women, I just have to be honest with it. Women do run things better than men. And I think it's because we think differently, and I think we think more compassionately and y'all think, immediate immediate results. You know, we think long term. You know, compassion.
I agree with that. Honestly, I really do, and that's why it's so important for you to really make sure that you listen to your woman and really keep her involved with all decisions that are made. You know, because like you said earlier, like, you know, what if the woman is better with finances than you are? Yeah, you may been able to make the money and stuff, but you still may not be able to, you know, invest the way you should. And maybe she is great at that. Like, you don't need to be so proud with, oh no, I'm bringing the money in. No, man, she is with you in this relationship with you. Like, if she good at something, let's do it, because we both thriving off of this. You know, we both coming up off of this. Why wouldn't you want that? And I feel like when it comes to submission, you know, she says she seems like it's a dictatorship. I feel like the reason why people see it that way now is because the way submission has formed, and like you said, it's just guys use it the wrong way, man. It ain't even the godly way. Like, if you want to evolve that, because if you was, you know, if the guy was really submitting to God, then he wouldn't be treating his wife the way he treating her. You know, he wouldn't be treating his woman the way he treating her if he was really submitting to God. Because if you was submitting to God, you will be treating your woman like a queen, man. Like, you really would. And I ain't just saying that. I only just want to throw that queen word out there, but I'm serious, because God is love. And if you ain't doing everything you do in love for that woman and with that woman, even through your conversation and your tone and all of that, you ain't submitting the way you're supposed to be. So you still wrong.
All right.
So,
and I'm gonna get back to that. I just want to answer a question real quick, but I want to come back to that. It says, why do you think women are starting to propose to men? Do you think it's out of not wanting to be alone, or just to say they are married? I said, I think the reason why women, and I think that women have always semi-proposed, not always. I think when it gets to this point, women are proposing to men because they've been together for so long. Like, when we look at Chrissy and they had been together so long, they were staying together. She's like, dang, he not making a move. I'm sick of this playing this girlfriend role, so I'm gonna make the move. I think some women do it, but they don't get on one knee with a ring. I think they, you know, them ultimatums, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, you want, you know, basically you setting up your own proposal. You know, like, either you marry me or I'm leaving. Like, when you give those, you know, them ultimatums. So I think that, you know, sometimes you get in these relationships that aren't moving along, and you're like, well, shoot, like that lady was 8 months pregnant, you know, with that man on the beach that just proposed to her boyfriend or whatever. And so she's probably thinking like, dang, my child gonna have your last name, but I'm not. So she probably took upon herself like, shoot, he ain't did it, I'm gonna do it. We get married, what? And I think that's what it is. I don't even think it's desperation. I think she's just like, look, get off, either move around or you gonna marry me. And so instead of her giving him an ultimatum, she got on one knee.
I think for some women, it is that not wanting to be alone thing, because I talk to a lot of women, especially the older, you know, they get, where they feel like, oh, I'm gonna be by myself and blah blah blah. I feel like some of it is that. I feel like another thing is, which is a good thing in certain views. I feel like another reason why women do it is because they are advancing in everything, and the main thing is financially. They're more financially stable than some guys, and they just want to, like, look, man, I like you, you're good, you what I want, here it is, bam. Because it's this one show called I think it's called Marrying Millions or something like that.
I seen
and
that.
it's this one couple, I think her name is Noonie, and she's a millionaire, and like she is like, honestly, they my favorite couple out of the bunch, because to me they seem like the most genuine ones. But like, she is in love with this dude who's pretty much
a bum.
Is nothing financially. He's nothing. Like, he don't have nothing really. But she ended up proposing to him, and he didn't like it, which I understood, because like, if you saw the episode, you would have saw it. But he didn't like it because that was something that he wanted to do.
Was she gonna have to buy her own ring?
Say that again?
Was she gonna have to buy her own ring?
Oh, no. He went in, because he was planning on proposing to her. He just did it before he got to it.
Okay.
like he was working on getting the money and all that, and then he finally got it. But yeah, he ended up doing it or whatever. Well, she did it first, and then he ended up surprising her and doing it because he was like, look, like at first it almost pushed him to the point to where, you know, they like he just went having it, but then, you know, they went on and he ended up proposing and all that. And I think they doing real good right now. But anyway, yeah, you know, like I said, she was just in that point to where it's like, look, I love this man. We've already agreed that like this is what we want, this is what we want to do. So she popped the question, and I feel like some of it is because of that too. So, especially these days.
Right. I think that, you know, if we're going to go into a world where women are going to be proposing to men and, you know, I'll make more of the money, I mean, the roles going to have to reverse then. I think it's sad that we've gotten to the point where you say women are out earning men. Well, not all women, because men, white men still, according to statistics, white men is number one, white women are number two, black men are actually number three, and then it's black women. But you know, they only update those every so many years or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if we're gonna get to the point where women are proposing to men because a man work and bring home the money, the wife's supposed to take that money and make sure the home is straight. I think that's the only way it can. I think it messes up the balance, right? Because I think men think that their identity, because it just is what it is. You're raised to be providers, to be the leaders, right? So a woman is not going to submit to a man she's taking care of. That's just the bottom line. So you're not going to truly have a role. I mean, I'm not going to say you're going to have a role, but you're not going to have a manly role in her life if she's paying for it. Like Samuels called that lady average at best because she said that she couldn't submit to a man that made less than her. I think that we have to really evaluate what she said, because we're always talking about, well, that's just real. That's just how men think. What if that's just real? That's how women think. Like if a man, and I don't even think you have to make more than me for me to do that, but you would have to be paying the bills. I hate to always go back to my dad, but my dad never made more than my mom, but he still always paid majority of the bills. Hold for a second. You go ahead, Denzel. Hold on.
All right. So me personally, you said that you feel like if that's happening, like with women making more money and all that, you feel like the roles need to be changed. Well, me, if we look at right now, the roles are changing. Like it ain't need to be changing. The roles are changing because, and this is a whole nother conversation right here. This is a rabbit hole right here. But the roles are changing because women are fulfilling more quote unquote manly roles, and the men are, I don't want to say they're fulfilling more like women roles or whatever, however you want to put it, but the roles are changing. And like in America, it's becoming acceptable because that's what America's been pushing for. If you want something, if you want equality all around the board, this is the product of it. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, and this is why I try to get a lot of people to like, look, man, I know that you don't want to believe that this is what's happening, but you gotta stick with reality or you gonna get left behind. And the reality is the roles are changing slowly but surely because of this equality thing that everybody is pushing for. I'm telling you, the roles are changing because of it.
Equality just means that
I know what it means. But I'm telling you the reality. I'm telling you the reality.
Is to you. Okay, so the roles are changing. They shouldn't be. So I don't understand.
I agree. They shouldn't.
Okay. So I don't understand when women when women started to elevate, right, and make more money, why didn't men continue to elevate? It doesn't make sense. Because
the roles are changing. That's what I'm saying. If you like, that's what I'm saying. Like all this equality, and I'm not just. It's not just. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, you or anybody else that's on here. I'm just saying, as a whole, as a country, this is what's being pushed for. This is why more things that wasn't acceptable in the past are more acceptable now. When stuff like that happen, the roles are going to change. It's a product of it. If this is what's going to be pushed for in this country, then these are the things that's going to happen.
So,
Point blank,
what
period.
you push for is that if a woman does the same job as a man, that a woman get paid like a man, which is still not happening.
But here's the thing though. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So what I was gonna say is what's been pushed for is if a woman does the same job as a man, that a woman still get paid like a man, which is still not happening today. So my question to you is the roles don't have to change because the push was never to put women ahead. It was kind of to balance, like boys were being at one point, I know boys were being called on more than girls in the classrooms. Girls weren't being pushed towards STEM type careers. So then they had this initiative to get girls more active in STEM, to make sure that teachers weren't being biased and calling on girls. You know, they say they're working on, gender pay, but we still see the difference. I even seen it in jobs that I've had where they pretty much have preferred the males, like, because I've been in education most of my life, and they prefer male teachers, especially in strong Black and Hispanic schools, because they feel like, the male presence is better. So my question is, why would you allow, if y'all are so pressed and so, like all I hear online is, men, women submitting, men being the head of the household. I need a more feminine woman. I need one, this, that, and this that can listen, Why would you allow it to get to the point where you're not, making it?
So here's the thing. Mm-hmm. It's not, when it comes to this, like, I agree with what you said. Like, like, I know the women everything was being pushed for y'all to have this and that and that and all that stuff. But this is the thing that we forget about, which is the mentality. It's just like, if you just look at, let's talk about Black people because we Black. If you look at Black people back when in the slavery times, once they were free, they still had the slavery mentality, and that had to change. And some of that mentality still exists. But now, since all this new stuff is being pushed, and all these equal things, everybody equal is being pushed, the mentality is going to change, and men aren't going to feel like they have to do this because they see the woman already doing it, or the woman ain't gonna feel like they have to do this, and vice versa. So that's why it's changing. Like, I'm telling you, with the changes that happen when it comes to equality and laws and all that, the mindset of the whole entire country, men and women, completely changed. And it's all mentality at the end of the day. And that's why the quote unquote roles are changing, because it's a mindset. Me personally, I'm never going to think that way.
Too many excuses is what it sounds like. Charmaine says, we all know a female whose man drops her off at work, her boyfriend doesn't have a job, and he picks her up late. We definitely
I definitely
know that. So the thing is, it has nothing to do with the push for women to have equality. It has more to do with men being complacent with where they are in society.
Like I said, it boils down to one thing: mentality. And it's not just men; it's the women too. Because because a man like me, I know, because you said it earlier. You said, "Oh, you hear the man saying he wanted a woman more feminine." Well, in reality, women are having more masculine traits. Not all, but it's just a common thing now, because the mentality is changing because of what's happening in America. It's bound to happen.
Men are marrying later, so if a woman has to take care of herself, or and other people on her own, what you consider a masculine trait is really a survival trait, because they have to survive. So I guess the question is, if men wanted more feminine women, then we already are. They would date young, they would date seriously, and not go through this. I think what's destroying everything is the idea that men feel like they have to sleep with America.
You
gonna come out, because the truth is the truth is,
go ahead.
If men were serious, if they dated for quality, if they dated for marriage, and if they didn't take until they were 35, 40, 50 to get married, and they didn't meet women after they've already lived their whole life on their own, they wouldn't have all these traits that they talk about. If I had to take care of myself, if I've had to do everything on my own, it's not that I have masculine traits. I have the traits to survive. So now when you come and you don't, you can't even provide, protect, and the things that we've been taught men are supposed to do, and you can sit back and have an excuse and say, well, if you're doing it, I don't have to do it. I mean, what would you expect?
So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm not just doing this because I'm a man, but we can't just point the finger at the man, because here's the thing.
We're talking about men right now. We're talking about, it's not about pointing the finger at the men. We're addressing the fact that what is keeping you guys from elevating.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just adding on, and all my only add on is yeah. The man didn't elevate, and he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, if he lived his life, if he was with everybody, it's because some woman that was surviving made a decision to say, you know what? Because she just said, we all know a female who drops her off to work. That female made that decision to be with that lazy man. So if you it don't matter. It don't matter, because at the end of the day, no, this is what I'm saying. Women have all the control on how men act. If you accept, listen to me. If you accept a lazy man,
okay,
other men are going to see that, and they go see, oh man, I don't got to do all that extra stuff, and I still can get the baddest thing walking around. Because I'm telling you, I know too many women that got, they got disagree, this good job. And when you look at they do, I'll be like, how in the world did you get him? But they made that decision to be with this
now I'm not gonna make excuses for people picking bad, but at the same time, we do have to take in consideration that our pools are smaller. And so if you're from an area where there's not a lot of quality men to choose from, and if you're raised as a child to believe that having a man is some type of pride, I'm not saying like a man that's a provider that loves you, take care of, I'm talking about just having someone of the male species is a prize, and you're choosing from this limited pool of men who aren't together, you can't then turn around and say, because all these dudes are bad and she chooses somebody who's bad, because some of y'all bad dudes come dressed up nicely, and you don't understand that these guys aren't who they portray themselves to be.
I agree, but that's a whole nother. I don't feel like that's an excuse. I don't feel like that's an excuse no more, though, because we in 2021. If you live in the middle of nowhere, we in 2021. Right. You can live in the middle of nowhere. You got this thing called the World Wide Web. You can get on the internet. You can find people somewhere else. You got your own vehicle. You can travel. You can do all kinds of stuff.
Paint yourself as who you want yourself to be seen as if you meet somebody online, opposed to the people that are in your community that you have.
Well, what I'm saying, but that means you limited yourself. You can't blame the area you lived in. You limited yourself.
It's not just
it's plenty of people who has had a successful relationship from somebody that they met online. Yeah, is there plenty of bad apples out there? Yes. Is there plenty of catfish out there? Yes.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the pool is bad. The pool is bad. The pool is bad because for some reason men believe that sleeping with people makes them a man. So then you have all these negative interactions with people who believe.
Well, who is allowing it? That's what I'm saying. Who's allowing
it? Why are you blaming?
The woman. Look, it's as simple as this. The woman has control. The woman has control over sex. The men have control over a relationship. Simple as that.
If the men were better people, we wouldn't even be here. If y'all could even elevate.
I agree. But
you're not listening to me.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
My point is, if y'all could elevate, it wouldn't even be this problem, because you guys are the ones that's always talking about submission and being the leader and be the head of society. Y'all can't get to the next step because you're preoccupied. Instead of having talks about what business, how you're gonna build up communities, things that would be actually productive, y'all are talking about who you're sleeping with and who you can get. And that's
Yeah.
why y'all are behind. And so my thing is, you can say women are choosing bad, but that means that too many women are choosing bad. And if too many women are choosing bad, that just means that the choices are bad. It's not that we're choosing bad. It's just even the people that consider themselves good are, you know, even the ones that's dressed up nice and have the nice jobs, they end up being the same man over and over again.
So if you can say,
the point is not they need to choose better. The point is the batch is bad.
I ain't never say they need to choose better. I'm just saying. I said they made the decision to be with that, because if that woman, let's just go back to this comment of the female who get dropped off by this guy.
Right.
If she continued to stays with him, she is making that decision every day to be with him. Every day you wake up, you can make a decision if you go continue to stay with this person or you go leave.
What did Curl say? If she drops him off and meets somebody new, if the pool is bad, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. If the pool is bad,
well, then it goes back to what you said earlier. Don't date. Don't date.
Don't date.
It goes back to what you said. That's what I'm saying.
My saying is why the answer can't be that y'all need to work on that and y'all need to focus on sex.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I completely agree. And you agree like you were saying,
bad? You agree that the pool is bad? Because women are not dating now. But go ahead.
No. I like the pool is definitely bad. But here's the thing, like you were saying, instead of having conversations about what you could do for the community, what you can do with your business, how you can build yourself, how you can make yourself a better man. We're talking about who we can get with, who we can stuff with, and stuff like that. And that's all mentality. Like me, I don't hang around dudes like that. Like literally, like if you're talking about any nonsense, I don't need to talk to you because you ain't doing nothing but putting nothing on my back. That's all you're doing. You put nonsense on my back. A bunch of nothing that's weighing me down. I don't need none of that. I need to move forward. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a good example for my kids and for whoever else who watching me. And at the end of the day, it ain't the women's fault. It is the men's fault. They made the decision to be. They're making the decision to have the mentality to be nothing, to be bums, to be sleeping around on somebody's couch and not taking care of themselves and not handling business and not being a real man and not trying to thrive and stuff like that. You know, I agree. But at the end of the day, it's still a decision for that woman to stay with that man.
It is a decision to stay with somebody that's not doing for you. And focus on what women need to do all the time. So, men need to stop talking about sleeping with women and not focus on what women need to do all the time. Like, the only way we get better is if we focus on ourselves.
Exactly.
It's both sides' fault. Right. Okay.
Exactly. I agree with you. It's both sides' fault.
Yeah. I agree. Also, I agree with me too. But just to get back on track. So we were talking about women proposing to men and how it flips, the whole roles. Because, men love to talk about submission and about what women should do and who women aren't. And we were just saying if women are, proposing to men, then that means that we need to be the ones to be submitted in. Even though I agree, it's opposite. So I thought my head was on this side. But even though I agree that in a relationship, both people have to submit to each other and listen and grow, because we're all going to be strong at different things. Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's a no for most of us that we wouldn't propose to a man just because we haven't really seen, good results in that. Chrissy is still single. Caesar did not marry the girl that proposed to him. I don't know what's going to happen with this lady that was 8 months pregnant on one knee. And I know that had to be hard. And I think once he saw her get down on that one knee, he should have intervened and like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you propose to your significant other, I'm not the one to tell you not to do it because, it's your life. You can handle it as you see fit. I just feel like, we need to make these men do something, and maybe just have a timeline of how long you want to be with this person and really look at the red flags to see if this is a person that's talking about getting married or if this is just a person talking about wasting your time, Yeah. And what's some red flags you can tell so you won't even get in a predicament where you have to give out ultimatums or maybe you have to go and buy the ring yourself to propose? What are some red flags to know that a man is not serious about marrying you?
Attention to details, attention to you, making time for you
Mhm.
through conversation, like stuff like that. I feel like attention is everything.
Mhm.
Women pay attention to all the small stuff. When you
Mhm.
see a man paying attention to the small stuff, that's a good thing. When you see that he's making time to check up on you and have you throughout his daily life, even even when he's doing things and stuff like that, that's a good thing. I feel like a bad thing is when a woman expects a man to uh like let's say you with a girl that likes to text a lot or whatever, and or I'm with a girl that likes to text a lot. Well, I tell people automatically, I don't mind texting. I don't like texting. If you really want my attention, you need to call me. Now, if you text me, I will text back, but don't expect an immediate response because I'm a person that likes to stay busy. And a man that likes to stay busy, he ain't gonna have time to be texting you all the time.
Mhm.
That's just the reality of it. A man that's sitting around on the couch all day, that's all he's looking for, and he probably texts you and three other women. So small stuff like that. Just does he pay attention to you? Does he pay attention to the conversations that you have? Does he pay attention to the small things that you do, the big things that you do, stuff like that? I feel like that's a big indicator because if he's doing things to show that he cares, if he's doing things to show that he's making time, if he's doing things to show that he pays attention to you. He notices when you go get your hair done. He notices when you got those new eyelashes on or nails or whatever. He notices the small things. Then he's really, doing his due diligence of making sure that he gets to know you and that he makes time to show you that he wants to be around. And then, uh, with that right there, I feel like with that right there, if you see those things, you won't you wouldn't even feel pressured or feel like you have to propose because it'll just happen. Because
Mhm.
like somebody commented earlier, like if the man want to be in a relationship with you, then he go do it. So
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you a question. So when is it too soon to bring up marriage? Not necessarily that you want to marry this person, but maybe just to see where ahead, like as far as dating. You say, I'm dating with the hopes of getting married, or like what do
no,
you think?
I feel like it's never too soon to bring that up because that'll help you catch some of those red flags early. If you bring up some of those serious conversations that you don't need to. I mean, yeah, you go know what color they like and stuff like that, but them lit child, high school, elementary, middle school conversations that people like to
Mhm.
have to break the ice. If you're really looking for a serious relationship and that's what you want, then you need to ask those serious questions. Even if it's early on, it don't have to be everything at one time, but you need to be throwing stuff out there early so you can catch those red flags early and you don't be wasting your time.
Mhm. Okay.
So yeah.
Well, does everyone thank you for coming on today? I think we've learned that we should not get on one knee. No, I'm just playing. We should, we should not get on one knee and propose. If you do, please send it in because we want to talk about it and we want to discuss it. I want to thank everybody that came out and chatted with us tonight. I really enjoyed you guys. We'll be back. We're going to move it to Thursday nights now because it's summertime. I know we're going to be out. It's hot girl summer and we're going to be out all summer long. So we're going to move it to Thursdays and you come back again one day,
Oh
Denzel.
yeah.
We
Oh
that
yeah.
you be here. Until next
Yeah.
time, remember 4,000 watch hours, guys. Go watch a video. Until next time, guys, stay crafting.
Yeah. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.